What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Puckett, and welcome to the Modern Warfare 2 Online Pro Circuit Live, brought to you by PlayStation 3. Tonight, we have the Losers Bracket Finals match between number 1 seeded Influence and 2nd seeded AOX. AOX is on an 18-1 run through the Losers Bracket, and tonight, they look to take down the Influence for a spot in the championship. It's time to find out who will move on to the championship match. Will it be the Influence, or will it be AOX? Let's send it over now to our guys live in the game, Fizz and Hastro.
Thanks, Puckett, and welcome to the Modern Warfare 2 Online Pro Circuit Live, brought to you by the PlayStation 3. I'm your host, Fizz, and alongside me tonight is Hastro. Hastro, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Fizz. Glad to be here. Another Wednesday night, another great matchup.
Absolutely, and that is a great matchup tonight. We've got our number 1 seeded Influence going against our number 2 seeded Art of Execution. They are going to be playing in the Losers Finals tonight, and they both took an interesting road to get here. Influence, our number 1 seed, is coming off a tough loss where they played last week on the stream against Xtravagant, where they got beat 3-0. After that dismal performance, they're trying to turn it around so they can get back in the championship and get another shot at Xtravagant. On the flip side, we've got our number 2 seed, Art of Execution. Their road here hasn't been easier as well. They got knocked out in winners round 2 and have been fighting through the losers bracket to get here where they are now. They actually boasted an impressive 18-1 through the bracket in their game type, so they have not dropped to only one game. So to get here, they've performed very well. Kicking off with our roster for number 1 seeded Influence, we've got Captain Pluto, followed by Fizzerp, Kaz, and Brim Laden. On the flip side, in the blue team, AOX, Art of Execution, led by Captain Croster, and followed by AOX, Clayster, and Sinister. So this matchup is going to be pretty epic tonight, Hastro. What are you expecting from these guys? You're pretty familiar with Influence, watching them on the stream. What do you think about Art of Execution, a team that you've played before?
Well, I think these are going to be two really evenly matched teams coming into this matchup tonight. AOX has a lot of experience. They've been playing on the pro circuit for a couple years now, and Influence has obviously proven themselves. They're our defending pro circuit champion here on the first ladder from the PS3. So right here, they're playing for a chance to play in the championship match against Xtravagant, and I really think both teams are going to perform really well. It's going to be a pretty tough matchup for both.
Yeah, I think we've got a potential for a Game 5 tonight, guys. Well, we're kicking it off with Invasion Capture the Flag. Invasion Capture the Flag is going to be a high, intense match with a lot of slang, a lot of back-and-forth shooting. Look for people to move up either the river side of the street or off to the right, and often taking it through the middle of the courtyard. So there are 3 main routes going in to and fro from the flag that we're going to be watching out for. Tonight, we're going to start off on the bottom team with AOX, and we're going to follow Clayster to kick off our player camera off the beginning. And again, Hastro, a player you're familiar with, Clayster. Tell me a little bit about him or some of our viewers that aren't familiar with him.
Clayster's a pretty rowdy guy, man. He's one of those players who is explosive, and at any moment in the game, he can kind of take things over and really cause fits for the other team. So right off the break here, it looks like he's going to try and do that by pushing down the river street right now. And he's managing to put shots into Pluto, but Pluto returns fire and cleans up the kill right there. So looks like Influence came out pretty hot right now. They picked up 3 kills and took out AOX right there. So they made a nice quick push, and they're going to gain map control off the break here, Fizz.
Yeah, early on, Influence has got 5 kills, where Croster's the only one that's put one up for AOX, and quickly they see their flag taken. Influence has come to play tonight, guys. They were not happy with their performance against Xtravagant last week, where they lost 3-0, like I stated earlier, so they have been practicing and playing a lot. And on the flip side, we've seen AOX, who has not been that active this week as far as scrimmaging or playing. The schedules have been conflicting with one another, and they have not gotten in that play time coming into this match.
Yeah, and right off the break, it looks like Influence had some kind of strategy, a good rush that really gave them great position on the map, and they were able to take a 1-0 lead as they pulled that cap off. It looks like Kaz was able to pull the grab and took that flag all the way home. And Pluto right now is sitting at 6-0. He's starting off slaying. Looks like he has a little bit of a vendetta after that match against Xtravagant last week, Fizz.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, there's 2 different ways you can go with that. You can get all upset, get emo, as you would call it, and not want to play or practice, but that's not what Influence did. They won our online Pro Circuit number 1 championship, and they are trying to get back in the championship again and have a rematch with Xtravagant. We saw Croster grab a flag there, but he didn't get it far, and right now, Influence has got a lead 1-0 with 3 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, now we just had 3 down for AOX once again. They're going to be spawning back. Looks like Influence has that flag and they're running it. And looks like AOX just managed to stop that flag carrier. I'm not sure if they got the return.
No, they didn't. Actually, no. On the flip side, Influence, it looked like Pluto was a one. He captured it again, and Influence took a 2-0 lead there.
Yep, they did.
They're coming out dominant. Now, I think AOX is eventually going to warm up. Like I said earlier, they haven't got to play much, but Influence is coming out the gates hot, bringing everything they got. Hastro Pluto hasn't even dropped yet. He is 9-0 right now with a flag cap, so he's real hot. And Slayer for AOX, let's switch it over to him on our player camera. He's the only one that's doing anything remotely right now for AOX, so AOX is struggling. They're going to have to get back in it here.
Yeah, they're down a 2-0 deficit right now. It looks like they're starting to gain a little bit of control in the middle of the map as we see AOX push up next to the B domination area. He gets cleaned up by Pluto, though, who is on fire, coming in at 10-1 right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane to start off, especially with a flag, cap as well. So, I mean, he's just been running through there, slaying cats left and right. But Kroster looks to have a flag now for AOX, and he's moving up River Street right now. Going to try to get it on there. It looks like off to the right, Courtyard's cleared. He's going to get this cap, guys, in 2-1. AOX gets onto the board.
So we got a little relay here now, too, Fwiz. You can't sleep on AOX. Placer just managed to grab the flag again as soon as that flag was capped by Kroster, so now Placer is pushing through the middle courtyard. Looks like he has it kind of wide open. He is rocking sleight of hand and stopping power too. He's moving really slow, but he manages to grab that cap. Really good job bouncing back by AOX with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock.
All of a sudden, down 2-0. AOX has jumped back into the picture, tied it up 2-2 in the first half with 1 minute and 28 seconds left on the clock. Very impressive. After Influence coming out dominating, AOX was able to get back on the board. And although their kill tallies aren't incredibly impressive right now, they are able to tie it up 2-2. Astro, I mean, you said it. They were able to do a rally cap there. You can't sleep on them.
Yeah, you can. Anytime that a team is moving the flag across the map, you always got to be conscious about what's going to happen as soon as they get the cap. And right there, it looks like Influence wasn't prepared for that relay that they just had. And looks like AOX is coming back into this game strong right now. They're managing to take out Pluto a little bit more as Pluto has died almost 3 times in a row. He's 1-3 since we last gave an update on his score. And it looks like AOX is controlling that mid-map really well right now.
Sinster with a nice Semtex kill, pulls out the Ravnica from distance and takes out Fizzerb. He's been doing damage with that little sidearm right there, and he pulls back the ACR. They got 36 seconds to try to make something happen. They're trying to get in position here on the right side, but Brimlanen takes out Sinster right there, and Kroster with a nice 2-piece.
It looks like AOX right here is going to play this one a little bit conservative. They have Placer in the middle of the map, and AOX is sitting on top of the sandbags on the second floor here, just looking over his flag, making sure there's no last-second cap going down for Influence. So right now we have 13 seconds left on the clock. I don't know if either team is going to be aggressive right here and try to go for that pull. Looks like they're not going to. So we're going to go into the second side with a 2-2 tie, Fwiz.
There it is as the clock ticks down. We are switching sides. Astro set at 2-2. All of a sudden, AOX was able to bounce back into the picture and tie it up after Influence came out the gate strong. Let's keep it on AOX. They are the team that is just slaying right now, and I want to put my eye on Kroster right now, so let's switch the camera over to him. He does get snagged by a Semtex, man. Those Semtex are powerful. You do not want to be in the vicinity of one of those things.
Yeah, most players are going to choose to use the Semtex, especially in a game type like this, where they can just kind of fling one across the map if they have a bead on somebody running around, and you won't see too many frag grenades come out and capture the flag, Fwiz.
No, not at all. Frag grenades are almost obsolete anymore at this point. As AOX moving up to the right side, takes out Brim, going to try to cut through Courtyard, through the alley. Decides that's not a good idea, so he's moving back up to the right. See if anybody's going to catch him off the spawn there. And no shooting on his behalf there. So that was rough there. It's a little bit, the action and aggression is slowed down on both teams' behalf, but it looks like AOX might be able to pull in this flag that's next to the dumpster. If he's able to get that kill, no, and Brim comes up clutch and gets the return there, Hastro.
Yeah, it was a really good play by Brim. He was conscious of the AOX player there in the middle of the courtyard. He saw AOX, managed to pull off the kill and get the return on his flag, so it was great play by Brim as he picks up another knife kill on Sincer. And looks like Influence has the advantage now moving through the middle of the map. Pluto takes out Clayster. Looks like AOX is set up here in the middle. He's going to try and lock this down for his team, make sure Influence doesn't get too much position. He fails at that. Looks like Influence is going to move in here for a pull pretty soon here.
And Kroster, he is playing, like right now he's 5-15, Astro. He is playing like he hasn't played this game in a week. He is going to have to get it together as the captain of AOX. They're going to need more from him in order to get over the hump, because now they're going to be down 3-2 as Influence was able to get another cap on the board by Coz's flag running, and they were going to rally another one, it looks like. And all of a sudden, Influence that was kind of stalemate right there at 2-2 is going to take a 4-2 lead in the caps there. Impressive work by them to come out the gates and get the rally cap there to get a 2-point lead there, Hastro.
Yeah, it looks like they have AOX kind of caught in a little bit of a spawn trap here at the gas station. And Pluto, who just got cleaned up, is doing an amazing job slaying again. He's coming in at 16-9, and he is playing. I love to see players on the pro circuit pick it up after a tough loss like they had last week. And it's just a great job by Pluto seeing him do that here. Looks like AOX has 3 players down right now. Sensor is the last alive. And it doesn't look like Influence is going to be making too much of a push here as they have a 4-2 lead with 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes left. You're going to see more of a defensive stance with a 2-cap lead here. That's smart on Influence's behalf. They're no strangers to competitive play, and they understand what it takes, especially going against a caliber team like AOX. But I'm wondering if AOX, with their backs up against the wall, can again come back and tie this game up. They did it before in the first half, and I can't count them out to do it again here in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a tough road for them, especially like we said after coming off that loss last week. But you know, they're playing very smart right now and defending their flag. It's you know, they have a 2-flag lead with 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock now, and they're playing smart. This is what you do. Once you have a nice lead, you're going to want to play a little defense on your flag. Sinister just manages to grab, but Koz cleans them up. So as you see, it looks like all 4 Influence players are holding it down right there.
And Sensor, yeah, he did have a nice 2-piece kill there with the Semtex, but it wasn't enough for them to get the flag. Glacier tried to set up in position there, but it just didn't work out for him there. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, the time is getting more dismal for them to get these flags on the board to tie this game up.
Yeah, and right now I think the difference, as you can see, is coming into the form of slaying ability. It just seems like Froster is having a tough game. He's coming in at 6-20 right now. I'm not sure if he's trying to run the objective or not. That might be part of the reason, but looks like with 1 minute left on the clock here, they're really gonna have to make a big push. So AOX is really gonna kind of have to gather things together and do some quick slaying to get into that flag base.
What I'm going to be interested to tell here, Hastro, is, you know, AOX is a little hot-headed at times, and with this loss here on game 1, that seems to be the possible outcome that's looking more and more realistic as the time passes. I wonder if they're going to be able to bounce back game 2 and bring the energy that Influence was able to bring into this game coming off a tough loss.
Well, 30 seconds left on the clock, and it seems like they're really going to have to do it right now and make a push, or it's going to be exactly that. It is going to be a loss for them. Glacier right now still spawned back in his base. I think the farthest person up for AOX right now is AOX, and he's not even in middle map yet. So with 15 seconds on the clock, it looks like Influence is going to take this 4-2. And the next map that we have coming up is Terminal Search and Destroy, and that is really what AOX excels at. They're a great search and destroy team. Even the biggest pro teams out there fear them going into the search and destroy match. So, you know, we'll see what happens here in the next round.
Yeah, definitely going to have to look out for him in Search and Destroy. Like you said, that is their favorite game type, and I'm wondering if Influence still can maybe come off this energy into Search and Destroy, try to throw AOX on their back heels. We'll have to find out here soon. Asher, why don't you go ahead and break down the scoreboard for us and tell us who the big players were in game 1.
Sure, it looks like the top slayer of the game actually goes to Brim, who came back, posted a 20-16, and Sinister on the other side posted 20 kills for AOX, coming in at 20-19. Croster just wasn't having the best game. He was coming in at 6-22, kind of hurt his team right there. But we still saw a great showing from Influence right here. So going into the next map, I'd like to see how they challenge AOX inside this.
Pluto kind of dropped off. He won. He was 10-1 at one point, and then ended up finishing 19-11. Ended up going 9-10 on that back half there. But Influence was able to win game 1 of the online pro circuit of the losers finals. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back to bring you game number 2. Don't miss out on all the action here on the Modern Warfare 2 online pro circuit.